So come on, you want to present?
My name's Stephen Vaughan, and I'm talking about my MSc research project, where I collected my thoughts using Think Aloud over 11 weeks during cycle training sessions. That's me verbalising my cognitions whilst riding up virtual Alp d'Huez. A combination of personal attributes, skills and cognitive strategies which affect performance in endurance sport have been identified. Understanding how cognition is controlled and attention focused provides insight into processes deployed to align thinking and performance. Metacognition, or one's knowledge of cognition about cognitive process, provides a mechanism to explain this. Brick, McIntyre and Campbell identified attentional dimensions for endurance athletes, which have been used to classify thoughts of cyclists by Whitehead and colleagues in 2018 and Massey et al. In 2020. These studies found that attention is predominantly internally focused and serves to self-monitor and actively regulate performance. Historically, retrospective recall methods were used to collect this type of data, but these cycling studies adopted Erickson and Simon's Think Aloud protocol. Basically, by using a microphone and a tape recorder, information within the athlete's focus of attention is verbalised and recorded. Data can be transcribed and analysed. Studies to date involve participants recording data only once or twice. Therefore, adopting a novel researcher as participant single case study design, the aim was to gain a subjective view from recording data longitudinally and to analyse recorded thoughts in line with attentional dimensions. Data was collected from 20 sessions. I completed a diary over the period and participated in a reflective interview. I adopted a Constructivist Epistemology with an ontology of realism. That is, as vehicle of data capture, I was developing a subjective view. However, by utilising attentional frameworks to group data, I recognised the pre-existence of a reality. Thematic analysis led to identification of 3 distinct time phases, as well as sub-themes which related to the process of Think Aloud, understanding focus of attention, and enhanced cognitive engagement. The first phase, covering weeks 1 to 3, was predominantly about thinking aloud and how it affected me as a participant. It was typified by the mechanics of process. I was self-conscious about what people might think if they saw me talking to myself, and reported being anxious about ensuring I was recording correctly. Now, this mirrored previous Think Aloud coaching studies. However, the comfort with the process was quick and it became autonomous to me during this period. In a second phase, using Think Aloud made me aware of what I was thinking about while I'm riding. I started to notice that my thoughts changed during a ride. I'd be more distracted at the beginning, and as it got harder, I became more focused on what I was doing. And although the study didn't set out to learn new skills, the habituation of process appears to have given rise to metacognitive development. This appears to be similar to the early stages of Fitz and Posner's skills acquisition model. So during this phase, verbalising thoughts gave rise to a process similar to the cognitive stage of learning a new skill. Moving into the final phase, reactivity directed attention to information that was previously not being attended to, and changes in cognitive awareness were reported. Descriptions about strategies being deployed showed transformation towards a how-to mindset was taking place, mirroring the associative phase from skills acquisition. So what were my verbalised thoughts over this time? Well, overall 60% were internally focused. This is lower than previous cycling findings. However, those studies involve competition, which may explain that difference but needs further investigation. However, we group by the 3 phases, a statistically significant increase in internal focus from 55% in phase 1 to 64 in the final phase is observed, suggesting that as metacognitive awareness developed, so did an increase in self-regulatory thoughts. Now, as an exploratory single case study, many limitations are recognised, and as Barker and colleagues described, this should be seen as an adjunct to group-based research, and further corroborative studies therefore now need to be completed. There are implications for practice from this study. Firstly, when using Think Aloud for data collection, practitioners need to consider their participants being self-conscious and anxious, and if possible provide an extended time for them to practice. Secondly, it's important that athletes and coaches understand what is being thought about, as these findings showed that an experienced cyclist was not always aware of their cognitions, and developing that awareness led to enhanced conscious mental engagement and increased training intensity. Why is this important? Well, at present, there is no academically underpinned method for sports psychologists to understand athlete cognitions as they occur during an endurance performance. So if these findings can be replicated with groups, adapting Think Aloud to be a tool potentially offers a solution to this problem. I'll leave you with a brief summary. Thank you.